Good afternoon. It's Thursday, the 14th of May, coming to you from Macomb City Hall. This is Mayor Mike Inman with our COVID-19 update. Reporting information from the McDonough County Health Department. Now a total of an additional 4 confirmed cases in the county, bringing our total to 58. Out of those 58, they're reporting that 24 have recovered, and I think we talked to you about what that involves. Symptoms are diminished, no fever for 72 hours. So those folks, 24, over 2 dozen people have met the requirements for being classified as recovered. So that's good news. Would remind you that the health department continues to strongly suggest, and very strong words here, that there's an anticipated continued number of cases coming, and it is increasingly important to take precautions to minimize the spread of the disease. And again, they are strongly urging all residents to comply with the governor's order regarding cloth face covers, practicing physical distancing, and to continue to abide by all the provisions of the governor's order to maintain health and safety for the entire community. And they stress very much that cloth face coverings, when worn properly, are an important source to control the spread by people who otherwise have no symptoms. So again, our thoughts and concerns go out to those folks that are now an additional 4 confirmed cases. But again, the positive side of that analysis is that our positivity rate, which is an increasingly important number we want to keep track of as we get closer towards the end of the month and anticipating some changes in the governor's stay-at-home order, that our positivity rate is 7.7%. So that all in all is good. Again, sharing some information with you here from City Hall. During the last time we had an opportunity to share information with you, we talked again, reminded you that normally this would be the week that would be putting all of our stuff, our accumulations, large items at the curb for our citywide take-all cleanup. And again, I think maybe there have been some confusion on some of the information I shared with you last time. So in an attempt to clarify some of that, we did suggest that although that pickup is a contractual arrangement with us and Waste Management, that's part of the garbage collection fees that we pay all year round to support that effort, and for example, also supports the curbside collection of yard waste during a couple of times during the year, as well as staffing folks at the yard waste dump next to the animal shelter out on Tower Road. This, much like those items, the spring cleanup, take-all sort of situation is part of our contract with Waste Management. But I do want to clarify that they have made it clear they're not canceling it, they're postponing it. We had a conversation with Waste Management officials today. They are going to try to look at a timeline when we might be able to anticipate that. Again, part of their personnel management issues is that it requires 2 Waste Management employees in the truck during this cleanup time. And I think you can understand that. Many of us put large items out, things that are not normally obviously collected in our bins. So they are trying to maintain safety for their employees, which means social distancing, not exposing them to unusual situations. And so they're looking at a timeline when those logistics might fall into place. And they told us they would give us plenty of advance notice. But another component that has always existed in this contract is the ability for Macomb residents to have Waste Management, for an additional fee, pick up large bulk items at the curbside. And rather than you taking an old piece of furniture or something like that, utilizing a pickup of yours, or maybe getting a friend's pickup and taking it to the dump, where there's a sizable fee that Waste Management imposes for that kind of activity. Through the contract with Waste Management, the city has negotiated a fee of $20 for those types of pickups, and Waste Management has done that or offered that service for a better part of a dozen years. Some people are aware of it, some people take advantage of it annually. I didn't suggest that you do that in lieu of waiting for the curbside take-all cleanup session. I would suggest that if you have items that it's an absolute necessity that you get rid of them, then this would be a way of you obtaining the ability to do that at a negotiated rate that the city has done. And those stickers, that payment doesn't go to the city, it goes to Waste Management. We only act as a conduit to allow for those stickers to be purchased and then placed on those items, and an appointment is made with Waste Management to pick that up. So I hope that clarifies that this is not an attempt to get an additional fee out of anyone, except for those people who want to avail themselves of a negotiated reduction in a service that Waste Management is willing to provide. So if you got a place to store that stuff that you would be anxious to get rid of now and can do it and can wait till maybe 30, 60 days when we get an idea logistically for a timeline from Waste Management, will be in a position to do that again, then I would suggest that's what you do. That way you incur no more expense. But again, the offer was to remind folks that for a better part of a dozen years, this service has always been available as an option that we negotiated with Waste Management for individuals in the city that wanted to avail themselves of that. So hopefully that clears that up. Another reminder that we want to double down on today, we're very near what will be Macomb High School's graduation this Saturday, and reaching out to folks at the Macomb School District. They have a commencement exercise planned. It's utilizing social distancing, but still an opportunity to celebrate those graduates. And that information should be already in those parents' hands. It involves cars and people getting out one at a time and some other activities that will give some semblance of commencement exercise to those Macomb High School graduates, some 140 or so of them. And we want to say congratulations to them. And part of that, congratulations, is an effort that's a collaboration between the Macomb Park District, the Macomb Area Arts Center, which is located on the east side of the square, and the Macomb Downtown Development folks, Kristen Terry. When I say folks, she's a one-person operation. But they have collaborated to obtained photographs from Macomb High School graduating seniors and got the cooperation of many, not all, but many of the businesses on the square to post those or display those pictures of our graduates in their storefronts downtown starting tomorrow on Friday. An opportunity for the community to say, hey, we know it's not an ideal situation, but we want to remind them as a community that we're still celebrating with them, proud of them, glad for them. And it's a shout out to the Park District and Nan at the Arts Center, and then Kristen Terry in Downtown Development for that nod, tip of the hat, if you will, to our Macomb High School graduates. One other thing we'd like to share with you, many of you have made outreach to my office, and I've happened to see some comments on social media. We've been the benefactors of some Air National Guard activity in the community over the skies of Macomb over the last several evenings this week, and it may continue to the week's end. I know that some folks had reached out with a bit of concern about what the activity might be. These are routine training missions for an Air Guard unit locally here, and I should maybe, even though I understand people might be concerned, and especially at night when it was after dark, you couldn't really tell what was going on, but many of you may have had an opportunity like I did earlier this week when it was purely daylight out, and you could see these were tactical fighters of the United States Air Force, and a bit of a reassurance from many perspectives, including mine, that our military is out in the middle of all this, still doing what they do so well and protecting us, and maybe trying not to get choked up a little bit sharing that with you. It should be a reassuring thing for us to know that we're still being protected by our military across the board, and think about them as you hear those noises, those roar of those jet engines, and maybe we're enjoying the benefit indirectly of so many flyovers that the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels have been doing in larger municipalities as a shout out to first responders, those in the nursing profession. We're going to say that that's what they're doing for us in Macomb too. I think that without the information we shared with you earlier, a reminder still has to be that social distancing, washing hands, face coverings, still very much a part of our equation today, tomorrow, and as we continue to move through this pandemic and into what is increasingly becoming the spring and summer months where we all want to get out and enjoy things. Again, a reminder, if you're part of your household unit and you're out doing fun things, that's all acceptable. We would encourage you to maybe have your face coverings in your pocket, so if you were to come in to contact with some other folks in the recreation areas that you're involved in, I honestly believe that there's going to be some modification in the governor's stay-at-home order within a matter of 10 to 14 days. We'll look forward to that. I think we can hold out some hope for that. I think it's very likely to occur, and many of the things that we want some restrictions lifted on are going to occur. But again, we'll still be expected to practice those other things to keep this virus from spreading. So I'm anxious, I'm just like you are, to move forward, but realizing that there is still no cure for this virus, there is still no ready treatment for this virus that's consistent and proven to be effective across the board. Working on it, very much working on it, but right now what we can control are our habits, our behaviors, and again, for those of you that have been doing so well at that, thank you. I can assure you that our efforts are paying off from every perspective we're seeing here from these reports from the health department, and would encourage you to keep up the good work. We'll talk again soon.